Hey y'all, welcome back to Movement Link. So I just want to spend a few minutes here talking about how to get back into that second or third or fourth or fifth rep when we're trying to link cleans together. So we have a couple options, and once you kind of get used to the hook grip, that's wrapping that thumb around the bar and then trying to get as many fingers around that thumb as possible. Once we're kind of used to that hook grip, we end up just falling in love with it. We hook grip our groceries at the grocery store. We end up using that hook grip everywhere. So if you're not someone who uses the hook grip, that's completely fine. The hook grip actually typically will bust blood vessels on my thumbs pretty consistently. So it's not something that you need to do. If you're going to be world class in Olympic weightlifting, the hook grip is something you need. So it's a valuable skill to kind of know, but it's definitely not something that's necessary. So this video is for people that are using that hook grip, and we're trying to do some barbell cycling and link cleans together. So what typically happens is we have a couple of options. So with the hook grip here, as I come up on my clean, I can let it go, or as I come up on my clean, I can hang on to it. The big difference is when I hang on to it, it really limits the range of motion of my shoulder. It kind of locks everything down, so I don't quite have as much room to negotiate up here. And as we're trying to deal with like grip and stuff issues, my grip is going to be turned on a little bit here and I don't get that rest. So there are benefits. If it's really light, if we're doing a lot of really light reps or just not very many reps, then it might be worth just holding onto that hook grip. If you have an extremely good mobility, it's probably worth just holding onto that hook grip. But for most of us out there, it's much better to get into a better receiving position by letting it go. But now we have the problem of how do we get that hook grip back on the way? So basically we're going to treat it almost the exact same as if we were doing a really heavy clean and jerk, where we come up from the clean and now we have to pop the bar up in the air so we can re-grip and move our feet back around to get ready for going overhead. We're going to do something extremely similar here. So what we're going to do is on the way up, we're catching it. For me, sometimes my pinkies come off of the bar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up almost like I'm doing a thruster and give that bar a pop. So I've caught it here. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to jump my feet back in, grab it like this, and then wrap my hands as I come back down. So of course I'm not going to pause and hold the weight there. This is light, and so I can kind of goof around a little bit more, but we're assuming it's heavy and hard. And what happens to a lot of people is they try and get the hook grip just by kind of moving their hands around, and you have to create space. So coming up out of the clean, drive it up like it's a thruster to create that space so you can grab it, and then on the way down, hook grip it. So I'll do a few here so you can see them. Coming up, pop it, hook grip, come down. All right, so tricky thing is you need to make sure, especially if you're gonna compete in this stuff, you need to make sure that you stand up all the way. Of course, if we're gonna do kind of that thruster motion where we're popping it up, we will be standing up all the way, but you'll just wanna make sure that your judge understands what you're doing, and you might have to do your clean, stand up, and then give it a little pop to get back into that next rep. But the advantage of this little pop is we can either just leave our feet wide in that clean position, but what I don't like is, especially as we have to go back down to the ground, it really limits my range of motion and my power and my position off the floor. So because I have to go ahead and get that hook grip again, I just use that time to move my feet back in position 2 so I can get those good pulls from the ground, and it really helps my start position. It goes out to the squat, hook grip, back to the start position as I go back down. So it's all just about creating space. This is a technique that we use for the clean and jerk as well. So this is something that you'll want to learn, especially if you're going to get more and more advanced with the barbell. Takes practice, play around with it. The best way to do it is in warm-up for your cleans, is just practice it with the barbell, work up into using weight as you need it in workouts, and just focus on that technique, but you got to layer that into the warm-ups. Hope this helps. Talk to y'all soon.